Hello, good afternoon, and perhaps to some people it's good evening, and to some other people, maybe they're a few hours behind Singapore, so good morning to you then. Welcome to the first of this webinar series. So it's called the Visualization Step-by-Step series, where we'll actually cover throughout 5 sessions this week and next week every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and next week Monday and Wednesday as well. To just talk about, some of the tools that we've been, talking and introducing, by Google News Initiative in our previous webinars over the last year. And some of the feedback that we've got is that, there are people who don't really know how to use the tools that we introduce in our webinars or in our physical training that we've done in the past before the pandemic. So we just wanted to do a very simple, practical, step-by-step guided sessions over the next 2 weeks to just run through some of the tools that we have talked about. So for today, we'll just cover very basic, fast and simple charts. And I'm sure all of you know what Google is. We all use Google in our day-to-day search, right? And so part of Google is this division called Google News Initiative, which actually works with newsrooms and basically all the journalists and editors to run newsroom training, and also basically focusing on digital tools, verification, and we've also other models with regards to data journalism, data visualization, and even how to work more efficiently via our tools like Pinpoint. Now, all of the training that you would want to run on your own, we do have an online course at this website called g.co/news training. So through this website, you can actually browse through all the lessons that are available there. But of course, if you would want a bespoke newsroom training or a journalism association training for a group training, basically, you can also submit your request, which you have received via email. There's an email address called newslabsupport@google.com, which we actually take in requests for private training as well. Now, today we're covering fast and simple charts. Why it's called fast and simple charts? Because it's basically something that you want to throw in very quickly, especially if you're in a breaking news environment. You want something very simple, and it's basically to just put up a chart there instead of writing a lot of words, a lot of paragraphs to just talk about data, right? But before we get into that, I think it's good to actually ponder and ask yourself, as an editor or even as a journalist, what makes a good chart? And when do we actually need a chart for our story? So I wanted to just show you this GIF because I thought it was very useful and interesting that, perhaps instead of thinking so overcomplicated, wanting flashy, charts, that the best visualization is the simple ones, right? And so if as a journalist and as an editor, you need to understand the story well. And not all stories need charts. And for those that do, we should always strive to aim to keep those charts simple. Now, this is just a normal table that you're seeing here. And as newspapers environment, you love to publish your data in the format of a table, right? But sometimes, you might see some tables that are published in newspapers that are a bit of an overkill. And now we're trying to tell you that, less is more. And I've also seen articles whereby, the reporter or the editor tried to overshare by putting all the data into different tables and different visualizations. So basically, the whole entire article is ODing on charts. So we also have to be very cautious of that. Now, this is another example, right, of a bar chart, which we all love to use. But, sometimes we think that, having a shadow effect is great, coloring your bar chart is great. But have you ever thought that, perhaps in your story, what you're highlighting is the stats for bacon, and the other is is just to show a comparison, but they're not to highlight the main point of your article. So you want to highlight bacon, right? And so labeling, cutting down the lines, having the digits, the numbers inserted there so that it's more obvious. So the other example is the pie chart. And same thing, we we like to think that, oh, perhaps having a 3D pie chart is great, but actually 3D pie chart would make it more confusing because it's not flat, right? So you tend to look at it and maybe the angle's distorted, and you would tend to see certain percentage as bigger than it actually is. And also likewise, same thing, right? You flatten it, and perhaps you want to minimize the coloring, but perhaps do you even really need a pie chart? Maybe that pie chart, if you convert it into a bar chart, it's much more easier to understand and see that yeah, the bacon is the one that should be highlighted. So today we're actually going to cover two very simple tools, which is DataGifMaker and also Google Sheets. Now, DataGifMaker, I will copy the link here as well later on, and you can actually do it together with me. So DataGifMaker is a tool by Google, and it's very, very simple. It looks pretty, when I say it's very simple, it's because there are only 3 visualization options, and you're looking at it right now. One is the one on the left, second one is on the right, and then this is the 3rd visualization template that they have. And there is a limit as to how many data sets you can key in, which in this case is only 4. So we'll like to do a simple practice, and please do it together. You can open up the website. I will drop the link in the comment box so you can actually open it. And just do this together. It's a very simple exercise, right? So you can just open up the page, and the task is to just create your own DataGifMaker of the top 4 highest grossing film of all time by value in US dollars, right? And what you would see when you open up the link is basically this. This will be empty for you if you've not used DataGifMaker before. So you would then want to choose a template, right, that you want to use. So say, for example, maybe you want to choose the racetrack one, right? And then probably you need to give it a title, and you could say top 4 highest grossing films, right? And so then you need to then insert the data. You can have a value in terms of percentage or in terms of numeric. So you just select it, and then you add in your term, right? So now I need to know what are the top 4 highest grossing films. So I would just look it up on Google, top 4 highest grossing film, and I naturally would probably get this Wikipedia link, right? Which then has all the numbers here, right? So the top 4 highest grossing film is Avengers, Avatar, Titanic, and Star Wars. So, and it also has the value here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put there, the first one is Avengers game. Oh wait, sorry, typo. And then I have Avatar, Titanic, and Star Wars. So Avatar, then I can add term Titanic, and then I can add the last term, which is because I only have 4, which is so this is Star Wars, Force Awakens, and then I can key in the value. Now you can also change the color here. There are not many options, unfortunately. So if you want to change it to gray, you can do that, or you can change it to say maybe a lighter color. You can do that. There you go. So what you can do is the next thing you need to know is to add in the value, right? So then we just need to copy the value. So it's basically 2.7 billion. So, but unfortunately here I have limited amount of space. I cannot type anymore. So I would just, what I'll do is I'll do a very simple, quick one where I just copy the values. You can do this together as well, and paste it. I hope you're trying it right now so you can actually see how it works instead of just looking at the screen. Right, and the last one is here. Okay, so then now that I've done this, right? Okay, I've selected it all. Now I scroll back up. I can actually preview this. So I click on play, and then it'll basically show you there by the highest obviously will reach to the tip, and then by the second and third and fourth. So, and then after that, I can save it in either high quality or low quality. And so if just say I were to just select low quality, and then it'll take a bit of time to generate the GIF. And then after that, I can embed the link or I can download it. So this is an old one that I created. So what I can do is I can actually click on download. So I can actually also use this link. I can copy this link, and then I could like stick it into say any presentation or any website. Or I can also do this, click on share. There, you also have this URL, which you can then just stick it into your site. Sorry. There you go. So GIFs, there. So that's how you manage the DataGifMaker. So it's tied to your Google account, your Gmail account as well, which is great. Yeah, and we'll come back to this. So I hope you managed to get that done and that was clear enough for you. At the end of the session, we'll actually have a Q&A. So if you're not clear about anything at all, just please feel free to type in your questions in the comment section, and I'll answer at the end. So the next thing so that was very simple, right? DataGifMaker. It's so simple because it's only 4 data sets. Now, what if you have something a bit more than 4 data sets, which is pretty common. Sometimes we have about a dozen, maybe 2 dozen data sets. And you know, we don't want to code. We just want to do something very, very fast. Okay, forget about coding. So we can actually use Google Sheets. I'm sure some of you know Google Sheets can actually make charts. And I'm sure that if you use Excel, you can do the same as well. So now the reason why we're talking about Sheets, not just because this is a webinar hosted by Google, but because with Excel, everyone uses different versions of Excel. So it makes it a bit tricky if I were to teach you how to make charts from one version of Excel, and then if you're using a different version of Excel, you might find that some of the steps might be a little different. Now, Google Sheets, you can also download the app, and you can also make charts from the app itself. Now, of course, with the app, there are always limitations, right? They don't have as many chart types as you would have on the actual web version if you were to just switch it on your laptop. So it's always advisable to do it off your laptop. But if you really need to pull something very, very quickly from your mobile phone, you can also do that. Now, I would also share with you this link if you want to just read up more about the types of Google Sheet charts that are available. There, I've posted a link up. And so some of these, so actually all of these types of charts that you see, you can actually do it. You can play around with it yourself, but if you're unsure of how to go about it, what are steps, you can always refer back to the link that I just posted and look at the guidelines on how the step-by-step, guideline. So for today, we'll actually cover the most common ones, which is line charts. But before that, now, if some of you may know, but some of you may not know, but you can actually also use Google Sheets to scrape the tables from HTML sites. And this is pretty cool because this is a function called import HTML. And then you can just pull data off websites. Now, this import HTML function, okay, I'll also copy this link so that you can also have a look of all the different shortcuts that you would see in Google Sheets that are helpful. Now, import HTML lets you draw out and pull out this data. So if you have, say, for example, I will show you one website that you can actually do that, besides Wikipedia, which obviously you can. So then there's also import range, which imports a range of cells from a specific spreadsheet. You can import feed or input data, at a given URL in a CSV format. again, I would share this link as well. So if you need to like understand more, you can always go to the link and read up about it. Now, most importantly, these are the things that you are, by the way, it's nice to know, but let's talk about the import HTML function. Just say, for example, you have the set of data that are published, say, by an NGO or a government organization, and they did not publish it. They did not give you a handout. They published it on their website as like what you would see here. So what I would do is, say, for example, I'll open up the site. So it's basically this site. I use this as an example. It's Reporters Without Borders. They published the annual World Press Freedom Index, right? And so what you will see, it's basically HTML format. So this is what you will see. And how do I then get the data? So, well, they're nice enough to say, to have this button called download the data, which you can then immediately download, and it gives you a CSV format. Now, if just say you enter a website like Wikipedia or any other website perhaps that does not give you the download data option, that just appears as a HTML page, what do you then do? You can scrape it using the import HTML function, right? So what we can do is, I would use this as an example. Hang on, I actually have this. I created this. So what I did was, if you can see here, I actually, when you type in import HTML, they'll come out with this guidance. So if you're not sure how to go about it, the moment you type import range, import HTML, it would actually show you how to go about it. So let's just try this. Okay, so first I need to copy the site link, so I need to copy the website URL. Then I need to I will create a new chart, a new table there. I would need to put equal, and then import HTML, and then I'll select it because it already popped up, right? And it'll give me the recommendation on how to properly insert the data, right? So first off, I need to use the bracket, and then I need to put the open quotation mark. I need to paste the link of the website, and then I need to put end quotation mark, and it tells me I need to put a comma. And then I also need to put a quotation mark in the table. And then I need to then put a comma again. And I need to list down which table it is. Now, I'm assuming since the website, I don't see any other tables, I'm assuming that would be the first table. Then I close the bracket and I hit enter. There you go. So I get the full data set, right? Which give us the abuse score and the underlying situation and global score, and the difference in terms of score between 2020 and 2019. Now, for the sake of me wanting to build a chart or table, say, for example, or even a Geochart, a map, I think it would be, I don't need to put in the score. I don't need to put in the abuse score. I don't need to put in underlying situation, because what people usually want to highlight is the ranking for this year, and also the ranking back in 2019, just so that you can see the difference. So what I did was I actually deleted these tabs, these columns, and then I just have the ranking for 2020, and then I just have the countries listed and the position in 2019. Then what I did was I then highlighted all, and I go to insert, and then I go to chart, and automatically it gives me column chart, but it doesn't make sense. So then I can actually change the chart type. So then I want to create, say, I want to show rankings, right? So I want to create a table chart. But then I realized that, oh, it's a global ranking. So there are more than 100 countries. So it's a very long list. And so say for the purpose of, and I will close that first and I'll move this aside. So for all purposes and intent, right, usually you want to highlight countries in your region with the countries that are in the top top ranks, right? So maybe I'll want to compare with certain countries. For example, maybe I want to compare with Norway, the Netherlands, or maybe in New Zealand, and then I'll compare with maybe US, UK, and then the countries within Southeast Asia. So how would I go about this? I would go to the column C, and then I will go to data, and then I will go to, create a filter. I'll try to filter this out. And then you will see that this little narrow thin lines appearing here, and then I just click on it. And then you can see all the list of countries, right? So what I'm gonna do is because right now I select all, so I'm gonna clear it. And I'm just gonna put in a few other Southeast Asian countries, and I'll put in Norway, Netherlands, New Zealand, US, and UK as comparison, okay? So I'll put in Norway, and then I'll include in Netherlands, and then New Zealand, and then I'll put in, say, United States, United Kingdom, and United States, and then I'll put in the other countries within Southeast Asia. So I'll put in Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, Philippines, and Singapore. So I just wanted this view to just highlight. And I just click OK, and then there you go. You can see that now my table is much shorter as compared to what it was before, which was really, really long, right? This was the before. Let me try to see if I can show you the before. Oh, wait, no, it automatically narrows down, sorry. So there you go. You can see that this has already narrowed down the table to the options that you selected. And then you can click on these three little dots, and you can go to edit chart, delete chart, download as an image, or you can go to publish chart. Now, if you click publish chart, then just leave interactive as a selection, click on publish, and then click on OK. Okay, once it's published, then you go to embed. And you will see this iframe link given to you. So you just need to copy this link and stick it onto your website. If you're the editor, I'm sure you will know what to do. You can stick it into your website, and then after that, you would see the table on the website. And it's dynamic, right? Basically, what this dynamic means is that, like, every time I change the values or the parameters for this table, it also changes directly on the website once I've copied it. So now what I'm going to show you is how do I know if this chart, if this table really works, is that I go to this website called CodePen.io. Now I'm going to copy that link as well so that you can have it in the comments box. And you select on this tab called Start Coding. You don't need to sign up or log in. It's free. So you just click on Start Coding, and then you would see this layout. You can obviously change view, but I prefer having it this way so that I can see the visualization better. And I copied my iframe link just now, right? So I need to paste it now. Sorry. I need to copy the iframe link. Sorry. Let me go back to here. We're on the publish chart. There. Embed. There. Copy this link, go back to CodePen, paste it, and then you just have to wait. Okay, I don't have permissions. Okay, this is very strange. Hang on. Oh, sorry, I think because there's restriction with my account because I'm using the Office account. But for you, when you do it, you should be able to see it. It should be able to be visible. So this is basically what it shows you when you see the full chart. After you did a narrowing down, it will look like this. And let's see, what else do I need to show you? Okay, so if you need, like I said, if you need a static version of the chart, you can always, oh yes, I need to show you how to do this, sorry. So if you go into this three little dots, you click on it, you can actually select move to own sheet, which then gives you this whole individual view of the chart in a separate sheets tab. And then you can download it. And of course, you know, when you published it, then you can always have the URL, but you can also then have it, when you download it, you can download it as a static version so that you can use it for print. Now, the other thing that I wanted to show you was with this was the Geochart, right? So you can do this and you can also do the Geochart. Now, the Geochart, it's pretty simple. I will go back to the Excel file. There. I'll just delete this because I already have a copy of it. Now, at the moment, we have this selected, right? If I want back all of my selections, how do I do this? I just need to remove filter, right? Turn off filter. And then it shows me back all the countries, all the list of countries. So now what I need to do is I need to then select all of these columns and then insert, click on chart again. And this time, I select the chart type as the Geochart. It's on the map. Click on it. That by default, it'll show me some errors. Sometimes this happens. What you need to do is you just need to, you know, change the region. Region right now, so they like, you know, because they took the first column as region. So as the region itself, obviously the first column was ranking. So you can either move your table, your columns around, or what you can do is you can click on this, and then you select countries and regions. And there you go, problem solved. And so then you can also add color. Oh wait, doesn't work if I were to do this. So there, better not select anything. Cancel. Hang on. What's it doing this? Sorry. Hold on. It's not, I'm not sure what I end up clicking. Sorry, let me do this again. Apologize. Delete chart. There. I think I clicked too fast. Okay, hang on, here. There you go, change this to countries and region. And you can actually also change the colors by going to customize and then click on, okay, this is very weird. I did a different version. Let me show you the different version that I did. There you go, edit chart. There. So this was the version that I did earlier. So basically when I select on the press ranking, I can color it as well, the press ranking. And then after that, I can customize and select the background color, the chart border color, and the font as well. So, and with Geo, yes, there you go. You can also then select your colors here. Yeah, so I hope this is clear. Okay, so so there's a question on how can we animate the Excel or sheet charts. So the animation section, it's I think that's if you were to do the motion chart, but I think that feature is, I did try to look up for that feature, so I couldn't find it. So the last version I found of a motion chart was back in 2017. So I'm not sure if that feature was already removed. So what we have right now is basically when we talk about interactive, it means that, you know, it's responsive. Like when I scroll over, I can see that, you know, this tells me it's Russia, and this is the rank for Russia, and then Canada is the rank for Canada. So this is what we call by like interactive. And the other thing is, yeah, so I think this is about it for this data set. So the other thing that we wanted to show you is the line chart, which is very common. So what we actually saw, a lot of publications would like to do the line chart. So for example, this is a common data that I mean, this is a public data that I found on Data Commons. It's a free site, it's kind of like your World Bank data. So the alternative to that is if you were to go to Data Commons. So there are different places where you can find data sets, right? And so I took data from Data Commons. I wanted the annual GDP growth for Indonesia. And so what I did was I went to the link, this website, and I can click on export, which I can just export this as a chart image, or I can download the data as CSV, which is what I did. And so this data, after I downloaded it as a CSV file, then I extracted out, and basically what I did was I simplified it into this format, because what it gave me was basically data sets from GDP growth from 1960 all the way to 2019. So I don't want that many years. So what I did was I only took from 2001 to 2019, the GDP growth rate. And then I also then changed the decimal point, this is how it works, right? Basically, the data set came in the CSV format. It came with a lot of numbers trailing behind. So what I did was I just decreased the decimal places. I just selected this until I had 2 decimal points. That was what I did. And then I also sorted the range. So when the data set came, it was showing me 2019, and then bottom here was 2001. So what I did was I just did basically sort range by column, right? And that's what I did to swap it around. And then after that, what I did was I just select the data that I've cleaned up from the original CSV file that I downloaded, and I select insert chart. And then it gives me this chart that looks like this right now, right? So what I want to do is I want to then start to clean it up, right? So maybe what I want to do is I also want to remove this. I can just double click on it, and then I just remove this. I will keep the GDP growth rate here, and then I will rename my chart title as Indonesia GDP growth rate 2001 to 2019. And then I can change my font as well. I can change the font size. And then what I can do is right now I see I can adjust the color of the line. I can also adjust the opacity and the line dash type and the thickness. And then I can I will select data label so I can see my data set. But so then I could also then go to customize to just put there I want to set my value for, there you go, hang on, series, data labels, legend. There you can change all of this. I want to change the horizontal axis here. Okay, I want to change the minimum and maximum value. So you can actually do that. So I can see that because my data starts from 2001, but the numbers are too close here. So I want to have a bit of a gap. So I put 2000. And then the maximum value was, the last year was 2019, but it's too cramped right now. So maybe I put the maximum value at 2020, right? And then I can also, right now I'm okay with the auto setup for the vertical axis, right? So it's not like if it was here, then and I cannot see the data sets properly, then I will need to put a maximum value. But right now it looks fine. So I'll go to grid lines and ticks, and then right now it's showing major grid lines. So if I uncheck that, then it will look like this, right? So I can also then there, if it goes to horizontal axis, does it show? So then with line color, you can adjust all of that. So just say I don't want all of this there. I can just take it out if I don't want it. So let's see. Yeah, so if you can play around with this and just customize as to how you want it. And then once you are done with it, and you're okay with this chart, then perhaps what you want to do is you want to then do what you did, which is click on the three little dots, go to publish chart, publish, and then after that you can go get your embed link. There you go. Okay, I see we've got more questions. Let's see. Okay, so Tableau costs money, which I know a lot of newsrooms and journalists can't afford or may not have the ability to actually fork out that sum. But which is why we're telling you free options. If you want to know how to combine data from more than one data set, you would have to do it yourself on the Google Sheets. So that's because it's very, very scrappy. This is literally for small little data sets. It's not meant for huge data sets, visualizing huge data sets. For that, you might need to use some other tool. So this is for something if just say you have a breaking news or econs data that you want to publish, and you just want to show a comparison, perhaps the last 5 years or the last 10 years performance. These are small data sets that you can just quickly put together and just put it up on the website. Okay, right. So the data, I will show you one example that I did later on, that I have to pull in the information from different sites and then I just combine it into the Google Sheets by myself, because there was no one site that had all the answers. So, okay, so this is the other example that I wanted to show. If just say I wanted to do several country comparison, and this time I go back to Data Commons to get the data sets, and I wanted to show a comparison of GDP growth for Indonesia, Malaysia, and the Philippines, right? And same thing, what I did was I downloaded the data, and of course it comes in it looks really complicated because it was from the 1960 and in 2019. So then I had to clean up the country title on the columns and to decrease the decimal spot. And then I did all of that. I cleaned up the data. I need to show you this. Okay, I cleaned up the data, and then I actually got I cleaned up the data into the set. If I were to show you the original version that I got, it looks really pretty messy, a little messy. So I had to clean it up by myself so that it looks more coherent right now. And so what I did was, after I cleaned it up, then what I did was I just go into Insert, Chart, and this is the by default. So I'm pretty happy with this, but I may want to do a bit of modification. So then I will go to Customize, and then I will go to say the horizontal axis, and I want to adjust the minimum and maximum value so that it doesn't look so cluttered. And then probably I want to check my data labels. There, it looks a bit too much now, so maybe I don't want that. Okay, so I can even just select on this line, and it will show me, oh, I'm basically modifying the series for Philippines because it's yellow right now. I can change the color. Say I want to make it green. Okay, and then I can like, adjust the point size if again, I can only put data labels for this if I want to, but if I don't want to, then I just take it off. I can adjust the font. So, and then I'm running out of time. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna like quickly just show you that this is how it's done. Okay, so then you would have, there you go. This is the other version that I created. So, and the next example that I wanted to show is, yes, that with Google Sheets, the other thing that you can actually do is that if you have everything in text, you can actually do the split text to columns. It's a nice nifty trick if you want to like try it out. If you have very messy data, this is something that you can do. So that's one other thing. So the other thing is we move on to pie charts. I'm sorry, we're running out of time. So, okay, with pie charts, I think a lot of people like to do very complicated stuff. These are the examples. It's a bit too much. I don't know how to make sense of these pie charts. It looks very, very complicated. And I can barely see those small little lines here. I think a bar chart would have, or like, a line chart could have like been better. So I wanted to just show you a very simple way of just doing a pie chart. So I got data from the Singapore government. Basically, I got this data set that's very, very long, right? So it's a lot. Basically, it's a data set on the location of all the public housing parking lot, whether it's a basement car park, multi-surface car park, multi-story, or whether it's electronic parking, coupon parking, and these are all in the HDB parking lots that they have. So what I wanted to do was I just wanted to maybe just do a simple pie chart that shows, the type of parking system that they have, like how many percent actually uses coupon parking, how many percent uses electronic parking. And so what I did was I just basically just go to this, highlight this, okay, this column. Because if I do everything, it will get very confusing because I also have X and Y coordinates. So I just select the column E, I go into insert, I select chart, and then I automatically gives me a line chart, but I don't want this. So I just go select the chart that I want, which is a pie chart. There you go. I can also select a donut chart if you think that a donut chart is cool, but I think for all simple is best. So just go with the pie chart, and then I can just then quickly edit the HDB parking lot type system. Right. Great. So then it shows me 9.1% of coupon parking. Electronic parking is say 90.9%. And what I'm gonna do is there. If I expand it, then you can see the word parking in full. And if I scroll over, it shows you how many electronic parking lots are there and how many coupon parking lots are there. Now, the other option is that, so one other thing that Google does is that they have this function called Explore. So just let me remove this. So if I were to select on this, and then I click on this, at the bottom right, there is this little button called Explore. You select it, and then it'll have different recommendations for you, and you can just go all the way down to like charts, right? It will give you like recommended charts. So you just select the one that you think works best for you. Okay, this is what I wanted to show. Next is, okay, and always remember to publish chart in order to get the embed link to link it onto your website. Yeah, and so this is the one that I was saying earlier that I had to like draw out data from 2 different sites. So this was a Singapore GDP and annual government expenditure. So with the GDP, I managed to get it from Data Commons, right, which is one website link. The budget expenditure I had to take from the government archives, Singapore government archives. So then after that, taking data from these 2 CSV files, I actually cleaned it up and built my own sheet table, which is this. I just put it make it very simple. What I got was actually a bunch of stuff. So I just simplify it. I just wanted the operating expenditure, development expenditure, and the GDP growth for, say, the last 5 years. And then after that, I just built my own data table, basically chart. And how I actually go into this is that I would show you right now really, really quickly. There, I would say insert, chart. So it gives me this, but I don't want this, right? So then what I need to do is that, okay, I need to then build my own table. Okay, so then, hang on. There you go. Customize chart and access title. There, let me just rename this first. You know what? Because since I'm running out of time, I will just show you this. How it's done. It's here. There, I actually then change it into a combo chart. You can see it here. Okay, I selected combo chart, and then after that, I renamed it under customize chart and access titles. I renamed it. I selected my font, and then what I did was I also then make sure that I have all my series correctly inserted, which is the 3 series: operating expenditure, development expenditure, GDP growth. Now, how I made the line appear not as a bar chart like it first recommended to me was that I need to go to the series menu. Yes, I inserted data label so that this would appear, and hang on. I selected GDP growth, and then I made sure that this was not a column. I changed it to a line. That was what I did. Yes, change it to a line because initially it was showing me this. I don't want this. So I changed it to a line so that I would have this. I would get this. And then after that, I selected this as the right axis because the values for that, the percentage and the operations are not the same. The ones the expenditure is on billion. So I use that as the left axis. So on the left y-axis. On the right y-axis, I actually use the percentage. You can see it here. So I selected right for this. And you can see if I were to just switch it up to operating expenditure, you can see that this is the left axis. And then, so I did all of this, and then after that, I published my chart. So I hope that's clear. We're towards the end. Okay, we would like your feedback because we're still trying to figure out what are best webinars that we could offer since we can't do physical training still because of the pandemic. So we will appreciate your feedback for today's session. And if you have any ideas, any suggestions on the type of training that you think would be helpful and useful for you, or if you have any requests for newsroom training for your organization or even journalist association, you can always email us at this newslabsupport@google.com. There, I also sent up the link. Okay, data cleanup, we'll talk about it at our next lesson because we have another session called extracting data. That we'll talk about if you have, like, say, thousands of rows of data, how do you clean it up? So let me see if there's any other question. I think that's about it. Okay, so if there are no other questions, you can always email me. Of course, if you are very shy, you can just put it in your feedback form, any questions that you may have or any comments that you may have about today's session. So thank you so much. I'm sorry we're a bit out of past time. I hope you picked up something new. It's very simple and scrappy. This is not, very trendy, not very trendy or super flashy or nice stuff. Nothing like what Tableau can do. But if you want something fast, this is an option for you. So I hope you have a good day, afternoon or evening or morning, depending on which country you're from. And I appreciate that you joined us today. I will see you again on Wednesday for our second session. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.